Like Hitler ruined the name Adolf and Where's Waldo ruined the name Waldo. What are some other names that have been ruined by real or fictional people? Alexa. Got a friend named Alexa, she hates the references people make. This is so sad. Homer and Bart. Bart, are you talking to me? Elmo. I knew a guy named Elmo. Poor Bart. Bonus true story. A customer came in one day, and his name was Adolf, born in 1938. What are the pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, it's little bit different. But I come from the Netherlands and I still remember when my father told me he took a colleague of his to America for a business trip. The colleague's name? Dick de Kock. They both genuinely didn't realize until their very first introduction there. A bit Hello, I am Dick of Cock. Pleased to meet you. Naming a child Junior is like making the same mistake twice. As a junior myself, I was bombarded with, are you named after your dad? Is that your real name? And who could forget, if you have a kid, will he be named Junior Junior? I'm a junior, yet my mom refused to let my dad associate me as such in any way. I truly can't thank her enough to this day. That said, my condolences, fellow junior. Isis used to be such a nice pretty name. I have a student named Isis who was born maybe 3 years at most before the Islamic State became big news. I feel so bad for her. Our 9-year-old daughter's other naming option that we nearly went with was Isis. Still love the name but dodged a bullet there. I think what's worse is when your parents name you the same as your family name. Example, William Williams or Johnson Johnson. Gregor McGregor was a con artist who defrauded Scotland to the point England could form the UK. So he was a Conor McGregor. Edit. My first Reddit gold. I'll always remember this day, or something. I can always check my history to relive it. Thanks whomever. Kermit. Teddy Roosevelt apparently liked odd names. 2 of his sons were Kermit and Quentin. I used to work for a Kermit. Once saw him fire someone for doing a Miss Piggy style, "Oh Kermie." Brilliant. "Oh Kermie, you're fired." "I'm sorry, I was due." "You're fired." Jolene. Always being accused of taking someone's man. I recently learned that some people have expanded on the song to slowly turn Jolene into an eldritch nation that feasts on the blood of the innocent and is the harbinger of the end times. That seems to be a somewhat common trend now. I think Garfield started it, or should I say Gorfield. I'm sorry hon. Vidkun used to be a normal, though a bit rare Norwegian name. The Nazi collaborator Prime Minister during WW2, has forever destroyed the appeal of this name. Even other nations use Quisling as a synonym for traitor. You could say that capital punishment was reintroduced in Norway specifically for Himmersyr. That is not an exaggeration. When Nazi Germany invaded Norway, they were expecting an easy capitulation like their earlier invasion of Denmark, and tasked Quisling with forming a pro-German government. That failed because no politician or leader in Norway would give him the time of day. The Nazis tried to negotiate with the King of Norway and the government in exile, but were flatly refused. It took 2 years before he could be appointed as minister-president, and he was still widely hated by the people. Did I also mention that he attempted a pro-Nazi coup d'etat on the radio when they invaded and failed completely? And the Nazis refused to support his coup. That really says a lot. It's a real shame. 2. Prior to World War II, he had a reputation as a humanitarian who helped those starving during the Russian famine of 21 and the Armenian genocide. But now his name doesn't just mean traitor. It's a word that here means a collaborating leader of a conquered state that tries to curry favor with his conquerors but merely looks like an incompetent fool, especially to said conquerors. His house is one of Norway's Holocaust museums, by the way. It's called Villa Grande, Nimrod. In legend, he was a king and a great hunter, but then Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny did their opera short and Bugs' sarcastic, "What a Nimrod" line instantly turned the name into an insult for the dumb and slow-witted, the opposite of its origin. Hermione girl I knew was tormented by its Leviosa, not Leviosa. Which is a pity, it's a legitimately nice name. At least people can actually pronounce and spell it now. I had never heard it before Harry Potter. Then Riverdale has a character with that name and I'm like, wait, that's an actual name? Now I see it everywhere. I thought it was clever translation to Dutch too. By the way, an ermine in English translates to Hermelijn in Dutch. So Hermione became Hermelion. I absolutely loved it. You know there's gotta be a bunch of kids with the name Alexa who are pretty sick of being asked to play Despacito. I know a guy named Bret Michaels. His mom loved Poison when she was growing up. He hates her for it. No kidding, hates her. I saw an interview one, **** interviewer, **** you have a son, isn't? **** celebrity, **** yes, his name is Bertoldo. I love Bertolt Brecht so I called him Bertoldo. **** interviewer, **** I see, and how old is Bertoldo? **** celebrity, **** he is 16 now. **** interviewer, so. Did your son ever forgave you? Well, I'll tell you what he told me, he fucking hates it. My middle name is also my dad's middle name and my grandfather's first name. This was a source of pride for me until we found out my grandfather is a pedophile. Edit 2, I was questioning whether to comment this but very glad I did. I have had people reach out who were molested or otherwise hurt by family members and have been able to offer counsel and solidarity. My DMs are open for anyone who wants to talk about a difficult situation like this. Edit 3, upon further review my first edit was kinda cringe so I deleted it. Not as bad as yours. But being named after my grandfather has proven to be a bit of a pain in the ass. He wrote bad checks and defaulted on a bunch of loans in the 90s. Usually not a big deal, unless you work in the banking industry. I've had job offers nearly rescinded until I convinced them that I wasn't writing bad checks in preschool. So they knew the name but didn't get the birthday and do some math. Christ, it worries me how far people get being dumbasses. As we all know, Hitler also ruined the Chaplin mustache. It would be a cool mustache to still use, but thanks to Hitler, its reputation is ruined. And the swap Hinduians trying to take it back though. Maybe in the Western world, here in Asia it is always in the context of Hinduism and Buddhism. It's quite common to see swastikas on the front doors of Hindu households. I love the fact that this just found a legitimate way to compare Adolf Hitler and Where's Waldo. Both also were never found. I thought they found Waldo hiding dressed as a priest in Argentina. Osama, back when putting your name on Coke bottles was a thing. There was a story in my town about a man having the name Osama and the people at a dairy refusing to put his name on a bottle of Coke. Poor guy, why would the people at a dairy be putting names on bottles of Coke? Is Coke made from cow milk? Had a girlfriend named Roxanne. That fucking Police song, it gets old fast let me tell you. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Jared, as a Jared, I concur. I don't know what's worse. The jewelry jokes. The Jared from Subway jokes. Or the Vine jokes every time I make a typo. Edit. I get you guys are trying to be clever but it's irritating. So I'm just removing the problem this year. The pedo jokes, surely, not really by a person, but Dick. Karen. I clicked on this question expecting Karen in biggest font and bolded letters. And I'm disappointed. Hashtag Karen. Shirley used to be a boy's name before Shirley Temple. Surely you can't be serious. I am, and don't call me Shirley. In Poland the name Alphonse has been ruined because it's a term for pimp. Felicity. By my grandfather's cousin is named Adolf. He's a Jewish Holocaust survivor. We call him Doll. I had a great-great-uncle Adolf who was also a survivor. He couldn't get out of Europe, cause he only had one leg and America wouldn't take him when all his brothers left. He'd lost the leg in the army. Saving someone's life And that guy hid Adolf and his family through the war. A good dip, Chad. I lost my virginity to a douchebag named Chad. 15 years later, he bragged about it to my younger male cousin while he was doing basic manual labor on my cousin's house. I about died when my cousin asked me about him later. Chad can go straight to hell. That seems like a very Chad thing to do, tbh. Elsa and GT. Elsa. Speaking of Frozen, there are 44 songs and 10 albums called Let It Go, including by Prince and Def Leppard. Which song are you currently singing in your head? Johnson wastes the greatest porn star name of all time on a basketball career. Probably for the best considering how things went. Jafar, Jacklo, Jalmo, Siri, Alexa is probably off everyone's naming list for the foreseeable future. Went to school with a guy, last name Anderson. Every time I saw him I would call out Mr. Anderson, Indiana. My best Agent Smith impression. He hated